Studies claim that around 70% of people worldwide now work remotely in some way. Whether it's people working the odd day at home or entire teams who don't need a bricks and mortar office at all. Remote working has undeniable benefits: a more motivated and therefore more productive workforce, lower overhead costs, and access to a wider talent pool in times of serious skills shortages. But who makes a good remote worker? And do we have the right technological tools to make up for the lack of face-to-face communication between colleagues or the physical presence of a boss? These are the questions that we're going to discuss today with Krista Have, CEO of Toggl, an Estonian time-tracking software company that has more than 100 staff working remotely around the globe.
Now we have good connections wherever you go. You don't need to be in the office to have face-to-face conversation with someone. I can work from the beach in Bali if I want to. Or I can work in the corners coffee shop if I want to. I can work from the office. For the first time in history, we have the means to really have this work-life balance, because now we have the technology to work it out. By going remote, you are tapping into the global talent pool. We are a small company in a small country with a population of 1.3 million. Here in Estonia, we have many good tech companies. And that means that whenever you need tech talent, there is a huge pool of companies that actually fight for this talent. So you have to outbid them to really get the best people. And this is just not economical. But out there in the world, there are billions of people who would actually be also available if we just would be willing to let go the location and hire from anywhere in the world. Instead of having a couple of hundred applicants, you might get a couple of 100,000 applicants. It's also more economical because the people that you will be hiring, you don't have to compete for them. And that means that the wages are not inflated as much as they would be if you would be just hiring or poaching people from locally. I'm not buying time, I'm buying results. But we do have to track the time, because otherwise we don't have the insight into what parts of the project will take the most time. For example, we have to create a new feature for our web app. And that means that we have to know how much do we plan for it. And unless we have been tracking time in the past, we cannot make these decisions because we just don't know. We have to know how much we are spending our time on different things to be really able to see how much we are going to spend time in the future as well. For a simple small website, we might need a systems architect. We have to know how much time his or her time is going to be spent. We have to have a designer, same applies there. And we have to have developers to really look into the code and really work on that. And we also have to know how many of them are needed and how much time they will take. But now you have a new client. You have never worked with them before. And you start tracking your time on this project as well. And as you progress, let's say you are 3 weeks into the 8-week process, and you will see that you have already spent 3 weeks on it, but you have only achieved the first initial phase, for example. You even haven't started developing it. You're spending way too much time on it. Yes, you have to track your time as you go for the future as well, even if you know how much time it will take normally on this project. The biggest threat I see when working remotely is that we are going to lose the human touch. It might mean that someone who starts off with good intentions and being really productive, they just start to drift off because they don't feel connected to everyone else. They feel like they are just somewhere at the side. They don't belong to the team. You must have this face-to-face contact with people. The only way is to bring them together, to really bring them in one place, to meet them have chats with them, to have a lunch with them, to go on a party or a pub. You have to create relationships in person. Once a year, we have this nice get-together, which we call Toggl Challenge. And the challenge is that we take all the people and we'll mix them up. So we'll break the teams and we'll just put random people in small teams. And they will have a very specific task that is totally unrelated to the things that they do daily, and they have to fulfill this task. It can be creating Instagram ads, or it can be working on a mobile application, or it can be even working on a promotional video for the whole company. People are taken out of their comfort zone and they have to really work together. And this helps tremendously with creating this human connection between people. You will go to lunch with them, you will have arguments with them, you will have this intimate knowledge of the person, and you can carry this over to the 6 month you're not seeing them in person, because you know the person behind the screen. People want to put in good work because they feel as part of a team, they are willing to help the team onwards all the time. And that means that there are no slackers. Hiring has traditionally been so that you have to find a bunch of candidates and you have a lot of CVs. So you have to go through them, see if they qualify for your needs and if they would be in correct location, for example, and willing to work at these times that are suitable for you as well. And now if you think of working remotely or hiring remote workers, there will be a lot more people applying for the job. So you have to find a new method. We have used I would say, rather clever online test. We put up the test and let's say we started out with 3,000 candidates, and out of these we pick only 20. And then we will go forward with an interview to sort out if they are really a good match for us culture-wise, and if they really have the skills. Only after they have gone through the interview, we will have a test week with them. We will employ them for a week. We will pay full charges. They work with us, with a team, for a whole week. And that way we can really see if they fit into the team, and also if they fit in culturally, because the cultural fit is really, really important for the remote teams as well.